Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to From the Hip, the podcast where candid conversations, sharp insights, and unfiltered opinions about today's NFL collide. I'm your host, Anthony Rodriguez. And today, we have not one, but two incredible guest speakers who are ready to share their unique perspectives on today's hottest topics. So grab a seat, get comfortable, and let's dive in. Joining us here we go. Our first guest today is a renowned expert in just about nothing with years of experience in convincing people he's right. He's been featured in countless Instagram DMs, and he's known for his unapologetic, frank approach to discussing how you're very wrong and he's very right. Please welcome Corey Thompson.
What an introduction. I mean, how can you top that? The Instagram DMs, always wanting to be right, never wrong. Hey, man, I'm right 97.3% of the time. There is that 2.7% where I am wrong, and that is rare.
I hear you.
I
I
think
hear
it's
you.
only happened to every Haley's comment or something like that.
We'll get him a little love here in a minute, somehow. Okay. Let's see. And joining us alongside Corey is another remarkable individual, Justin Rodriguez, who brings a fresh and dynamic perspective to the table. Justin is an accomplished trash talker and has been known to claim that if he only had one nickel, it would be the shiniest nickel you've ever seen. Welcome, Justin.
Thank you. I believe in the facts, and I'm here to prove them. That's all I'm here to say.
Well, I appreciate that. Let's get a round of applause. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay. So today's episode promises to be a roller coaster ride through the latest headlines, societal trends, and thought provoking debates. Our guests aren't afraid to speak their minds. So get ready for some honest, no holds barred discussions. We'll tackle everything from the hip. No scripts, no filters, just pure, unadulterated dialogue. So, gentlemen, do you feel like you're ready?
I'm
Let's go.
always ready.
All right, so we're going to get right into it. So, we're in week 3 of the NFL. Unfortunately, we missed the first 2 weeks. It's our premiere episode, but going forward, we're going to get every week for you guys. So, Corey, talk to me about how you felt about week 2, not 3.
Week two, it's still the start of the season. Everyone's getting their legs under them because we know the preseason is just fodder. It's not real. They're not really competing. They're just going out there and going through the motions to get a feel to the one up to the season. But in week two, we had some great games, and we had some horrific injuries and some terrible losses to teams, such as Justin. I know you want to talk about Chubb. That was a big hit. Um, it was a big hit to me too because he is on my fantasy team. But oh man, what can you do? That is the game that these guys play. They put their bodies on the line every week in, week out, even in practice. And man, it's a blessing and a curse. That's what I could say.
How do you feel about Chubb, though? Do you think he's going to be able to come back from that one?
Me personally, stem cell, baby. I'm telling you, all the way, stem cells. If he doesn't do stem cells, then I don't think he'll be the same. It worked for
What
Kobe.
about you, Justin? What do you think? Do you think he's going to be able to come back from this?
I mean, from what I heard and from what I've seen, this is a second injury similar. He had one in college and one now. So I mean, first one, it's a blessing to come back after one like that. A second one, I just think he's going to be damaged goods. I don't see him getting a big contract later in the year. Later on when his contract is up, I don't see him get a bigger one. I don't see him. He's going to end up being a workhorse running back, which is going to be a 1 year to year running back to see how he does produce. He's going to rely on his numbers because if he doesn't produce them numbers, I don't see him staying in the NFL long. And that's just not because of who the numbers and the way he plays, just the injuries. He can't afford to pay somebody who just might not even play. So
I agree with you. I don't think he's going to be coming back at all. Being the fact that next year is the final year of his contract.
Yeah,
I don't think. I don't even think he's going to make it onto the roster for next year.
yeah,
Whoa.
I
I think,
agree.
of course, in his mind, he's gonna try. And why would he not? I think he's owed quite a bit of money. But but I think the Browns ultimately are going to cut him. They're
Yeah,
ultimately
they're
going to
gonna
cut him. They're going to want to get rid of him before they have to pay him that final year.
exactly.
You know, even if it's league minimum, it wouldn't matter. That's league minimum that they can put somewhere else.
Yeah,
I think at this point they know they're going to have to cut their losses and move forward. They kind of have no choice. Unfortunately, it's an unfortunate thing because Chubb has been a phenomenal player for a very long time, but we've gotten to a point now where he's not a young man. Not when you consider the NFL
yeah,
running back longevity. He doesn't have it.
exactly.
He destroyed that knee. It's the second time. Even if he comes back, even with the stem cells, he's not going to be
Yeah, it
100%.
won't be the same.
And they can move on to Ford. They can draft. Because I don't think they're going to have a great season either. So, which means they're probably going to have a very good draft. They're going to be going running back
Well,
first.
they did
Um,
re-sign Kareem Hunt.
Yes, but that's just to feed them through the rest of the year.
and I think
But
that's exactly how he will end up being is like a Kareem Hunt, be a running back that you get off the waivers and you get off the free agency because he's not gonna go. He's not gonna want to walk away from the league. He's not. But
well,
at the end
that's
of the
if
day, when
somebody's
he,
willing to even give him any money just to come in.
yeah, they're gonna put him down. If they bring him in, he'll be a third down back. He'll get very minimum touches. He'll just get you above that first yard line. That's what he's gonna be used for. He will not be a first down, second down back anymore. And it's
Agreed.
just it's sad. It's sad to see that from someone who
Oh, it is
is considered
tremendously
considered
sad.
a top five running back in the league, if not
Yeah,
top three.
yeah.
To see him go like that is ridiculous, man. So
But we've
I
seen
think
these injuries before, and we've seen
yeah,
guys make comebacks. He's only
and as a
what,
former player,
27?
I know as a former player, I know for a fact injuries happen, man. So and it's nothing you could prevent it. We all know they all know what they risk every day going out there, and it's sensitive topic to talk about, especially as a former player because you never want to see that happen to any of your guys, especially if you don't even know the guy, but you feel for him because football is a different kind of brotherhood, man. So and
You,
everybody here knows that. So
yeah, you're looking at it. I mean, that could be you on that end. And I mean,
exactly.
we see it happen with linemen all the time, all the time. Somebody rolls over their knee, this, that, the third. They get stepped on. You know, corners, receivers.
well,
You
let's
see
talk
all
about
kinds
the
of
other
stuff.
big injury of the league cornerbacks. Now that you said corners,
You know,
okay, Cowboys. Talk to me about
Trayvon
them.
Diggs.
Cowboys. They lost
Trayvon Diggs.
their big secondary.
Yeah.
well,
Seeing Trayvon Diggs go down in practice is definitely tough because you don't want to see it. Not even a game time scenario, practice of all places. That's a
He's
big
out for the
time
season.
corner. Yeah, that's a big time cornerback. That's a big time pay. That you pay him a lot of money to be who he is, especially on the season he had last year. He had an amazing season last year, starting especially in the beginning of the season where he came out 8 picks in the first 5 games. So
Mm-hmm.
it shows that now how do the Cowboys pivot? You know what I'm saying? It just it goes from there to see where do they go from here. I mean, I don't think that they're gonna struggle. Let's be honest. You still got
Well,
Gilmore, you still got
it is a key
Parsons.
player, but it's not the only player. And
Yeah, that's definitely not the
unlike
only player on that defense.
unlike um the whole Chubb situation, let's face it, the Browns, chances are, if they made the playoffs, it was going to be a big deal. But they're not a contender for an actual Super Bowl.
true.
Yeah,
So with Chubb going down, it's truly unfortunate. It affects fantasy more than it affects the rest of the NFL. Um, but the Cowboys injury, that actually affects the Cowboys. That affects
yeah,
their secondary. It affects a chances of them going to the Super Bowl because now they do have a hole in their defense. But it doesn't really affect fantasy as much.
Well, I want
yeah,
to go back to something Justin mentioned. Last season, Trayvon Diggs did have a lot of picks. He did. He was in a lot of man-to-man situations where he 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 thrived, but he did give up a lot of touchdowns last season. So you have to look at it. It's hit or miss. It's all or nothing when you look at it like that. Is he really a shutdown corner? Is he a Revis Island? Is he a Deion Sanders S type of corner? Giving up a lot of touchdowns and getting a lot of interceptions doesn't make you a great corner. You also have to be able to stop your man when you're playing against him. So
Good point. Good point.
it may not be a loss for the Cowboys if you look at it like that. Will it hurt? Yes. But will they still thrive? Yes. Do I think they'll still be where they are? I mean, like right now, I think they're ranked number one in the defense as far as the way
They are.
they've been holding people
Hmm.
down. I still think they'll be top five. It might change a little bit here and there because that side of the field might take a hit, but that's about it. They'll be fine.
So talk to me about the rest of the league. Is there any other standouts from last week that you saw that made you think about anything? Did
Yeah.
anybody come out?
CJ Stroud. This is, when I say CJ Stroud, people look at the Texans as you could beat on them. It's an easy week going by. I don't know anymore, and I'm gonna be honest with that. CJ Stroud had a good week one, threw for 250, and lost the game, but he definitely threw for 250. No touchdowns, no two interceptions. But I feel like in week one, week two, he flipped the switch, threw for almost 400 yards, no interceptions, threw for 30 for 47.
But
He
didn't he
flipped the
lose?
switch there. He lost,
They lost, but
but
who did they play? Who did they play?
yeah, they
Who did
play
they play?
Indiana. They play Indiana.
Indianapolis Colts. Who? Who's that?
That's what I'm saying. I'm
Who is
like,
that? Who's
No,
Peyton?
but
Who's
what,
it's
that
like
team?
they
what,
lost to
what
the
I'm
Colts,
saying,
and they lost to a
Is
Colts
Peyton
without
Manning
their
back there?
quarterback.
Where's
yeah,
Bob
but look who
Sanders?
he's throwing to. Look who he's throwing to. He don't got nobody throwing to. Nico Collins is his best receiver. Who is Nico Collins? Who
Okay,
is Nico?
Okay, that
last year, did you see Aaron Rodgers' numbers? Who was he throwing to?
Yeah,
Who are they? Because all I saw was a lot of guys dropping passes and Aaron Rodgers still putting up numbers with nobodies.
I'm
So
just saying.
this is a horrible defense
Christian
that CJ
Watson Christian
Stroud.
Watson compared to Nico Collins. That's a big. Nico Collins is still available in your fantasy.
Then pick him
Let's
up.
be honest here.
Pick
Let's
him
be
up. If you're
honest.
so sold on Stroud, pick him up. If
I'm
you
just
think he's
saying.
good,
all right.
I'm
Speaking of
just saying.
fantasies, that's going to transition us over to. I think. Would you pick up Stroud because Stroud's available on
Yeah,
most waiver wires in fantasy. Now, if I okay, you know what? We're all in the same fantasy league, all three of us. Stroud's available on the waiver wire. I do admit that of the available quarterbacks left, now we have a 12-team league. Of the available quarterbacks left, he's got to be amongst the top three that's available.
yeah,
Okay, I would say that. I personally would pick up Mayfield.
he's not available.
Oh, someone picked him up. You got to smile like you picked him up.
he
I did.
did. He did. Well, that's
But
someone I want to talk about, but we'll do that later.
okay, but we're gonna
We'll,
get there.
we'll
We're gonna
definitely
get there.
definitely get to that Tampa game
Okay.
later.
So, anything else from last week? Anybody would like to touch on?
You know what? Why don't we just
Other than
open it
Stroud, I don't
up?
see any. Yeah, I don't.
Let's,
All
Other
right.
than Stroud,
So,
I don't see no
that's
camp
going to lead me
standouts.
into the game that already played. That's this week. We're going to go into this week, but we did miss the Thursday night game. Funny thing about it was, if you told me, if you put a gun to my head and said, "Here's your one pick of the week. This is the one," I would have picked San Francisco over the Giants. I even said it to you, Corey. I called the score. I said I was right on the over under. I was right where I said what it was going to be.
and I told you San Fran
Yeah.
was going to hit at least
Yep.
30 points on them.
And they did.
That
And the funny thing about it
man,
is that the game passed already. But let's talk about that game. I was watching the game. What little I could watch with our schedule, right? With our schedule, little I can watch, right? And what I did notice was not so much that San Fran was so dominant, but it was so awful the Giants were. The Giants are tremendously bad this year, and it saddens me as a New Yorker. I am saddened to watch the Giants just. It almost looks like they're tanking, and they're not. That's the sad thing. They're not tanking. They're trying, and they suck.
well, my question for you, since you're a New Yorker and you actually like the Giants, What do you think the problem is? What's the issue? Where are they bleeding from? How can you fix it?
Defense. Defense number one. They got away from what they were. They've always been a defensive team. Defense first. That's what the Jets are. They're a defense first team. They run the ball. They're old school football. Okay. Although they have some key players that the Giants have always been a running team that can play good D, and they always had a decent quarterback. Okay. Whether it was Phil Sims, whether it was Eli, um, they've always had a quarterback who can be competent, don't turn the ball over, hit the receivers who they need to hit for the big plays that are choice plays. They weren't just gunslingers, and that's how they won. They've got away from that. They have a horrific defense. You can score on them all day, all day. Uh, their run game, although they have a great running back, he's almost made of glass. He's gotten to that point now where a good hard hit, he's done. The offensive line is not even giving him that much opening. The quarterback has got a lot of issues. He doesn't run enough. He really, because he looks great when he runs, but he's trying to be a pocket passer, and he doesn't have anybody to pass the ball to.
Wrong. You got Darren Waller. Let me stop you there.
That's the
That's the
inclusion.
Ravens.
And Darren Waller actually had a good game on Thursday. He had what? He had like 6 receptions.
About yeah.
Yeah, he did pretty good.
Yeah, he did. He actually had a decent game. So they finally got him somebody to throw the ball to, but that's all they got.
Yeah, and that's the issue. You can't. And a big tight end like Darren Waller, I understand his speed may be an issue, but you need more than just a big tight end throw it to. This ain't the Ravens. This ain't.
He's not
This
Gronk.
ain't. This ain't.
He's
This.
not
Yeah,
Gronk.
you not Gronk. You not Andrews. You not Kelsey. You know what I'm saying? You none of those guys. So to put all your faith in Darren Waller, me personally, if I just strap down, I could double coverage Waller the whole game. Who else you gonna throw to? That's just
Yeah,
the
but
question. Is that you gonna
we've
can't do
seen
that?
that. And we've seen teams try to double cover him over and over, and it didn't work. You can't put a safety and a linebacker on him. He's jumping right over them. The guy's 6'6". He had 6 catches, 76 yards that game. It was his first game as his second game as a Giant, his best game so far because his week one
Mm-hmm.
game was
And I think it'll get
abysmal. They
better.
could have moved the ball,
And it definitely will
you
get
know,
better. Yeah.
and he's only going to get better. But the problem with Waller is he's a little bit injury prone. He's had that injury bug since being on the Raiders and taking on a heavier workload and transitioning from wide receiver to tight end.
Mm-hmm.
So with him being on the Giants, he needs Saquon. They both need one
He needs
another.
a healthy Saquon.
Yeah, they both need one another.
Indeed. He needs a healthy Saquon who's going to give him 80 plus yards per game. Without 80 plus yards per game out of Saquon, Waller's going to have to cover a lot more yardage for them. He's going to have to cover um, a lot more touches. I don't think he has it in him. I don't think he has it in him at his age. He's not a young guy.
No, he's not. He's 30, 32, somewhere around
That's what I'm
there.
saying. He's not young, right? And he's taken a lot of hits over his career. Okay, so how long does he really have, and how durable can he really be?
That is true. This
You
tight
know,
end is a very physical position to play.
it's extremely physical. Not everybody's Gronk. I say that all the time. Gronk is what he was, a machine. Okay, he was just incredible. You don't have that all the time. You have Kelsey, but even Kelsey's got the injury bug right now. He missed game 1. He came back in a limited role in game 2. Okay, he actually scored a touchdown. He had a couple touches. By the way, that leads me into the sit starts, okay, in fantasy. And I'll start it off because honestly, one of the guys that I had right away, if you have him, if you were on the fence about it, you need to start Kelsey. 100%. Kelsey needs to be a start in a 100% because he missed game 1. He had a limited role in game 2, but he still was productive. And they're going to go to him hard. KC is 1-1. cannot afford to go 1-2. They cannot afford. There's no reason why they should. They're not even really playing anybody really that. From what I saw here, I'm sorry. Okay, they're playing the Bears of all teams. Okay, which is why there's absolutely no reason why they don't just run them right over. And Kelsey, especially, he might do 120 yards by himself. Any takes?
Um, yeah,
I agree with Kelsey. Kelsey alone, he's a machine. I look at him, even though with the injury bug, he still threw up a touchdown, still threw up a couple touches last week. So that just shows that he's willing to go out there and get dirty. You know what I'm saying? He's willing to go out there and get the ball out because who else is Mahomes throwing to? Mahomes don't really, a lot. He has a lot of young targets, a lot of guys he does not have chemistry with, other than I believe it's Van how you say his name, Van Kez, the
Marquez Valdez.
veteran. Yeah, yeah. He other than him, that's the only seasoned receiver over there. Sky
Yeah.
Moore,
By the way, all of his
second.
receivers, every single one of them, I would never take any of his receivers
Yeah,
in fantasy because other
because
than Kelsey, they're a wasted pick on
yeah,
fantasy.
they're wasted pick because Sky Moore is in his second year.
Hmm.
Everybody's saying that Sky
By
Moore
the way, I
has
had Sky Moore. I dropped him. By the way.
yeah. Sky They're saying Sky Moore this is supposed to be his takeoff season because of Kelsey being
Juju,
injured and him taking
Juju
off with his
Gone.
speed and everything like that. Juju gone, but it's inconsistent. Is there week one he didn't even have a single touch, not a single catch. He was targeted 3 times, not a single catch. Week two, yeah, he turned it up a little bit, but that's after Kelsey. After Kelsey came back, Kelsey took the workload off him. He's not a receiver you would depend on. So Kelsey is definitely someone you start this week. And yeah, I completely agree. Just know when that injury goes away, Kelsey gonna be a monster. He gonna come back. He gonna try to pat them stats the way he was doing. He gonna get them back.
Hmm.
He gonna get. You think losing that 1 week he was gonna take that? No, he's gonna get them stats back, and he's gonna get out there. I'm telling you.
I would agree as well. He has something to prove. He wants to come out. He wants to put on a good performance like he did last season. Last season he was a monster for this team. He was scoring all over the field, making all these catches. But I mean, look at what he did last week. He had a decent game against a damn good Jacksonville Jaguar defense. They held them to 17 points. Who can you say is holding Kansas City Chiefs to 17 points nowadays? So for him to be able to do something against that defense, that was a good look. It's a good look that his knee is healthy. Um, and as you go back to week one, Kadarius Toney, a guy that they brought over to replace Tyreek Hill, and I mean, he was meme central with cinder blocks for hands, literally in the
Hmm.
pictures. So I'm looking for Patrick Mahomes to lean on Kelsey a lot more. So if I had Kelsey, he would definitely be a start for the whole season, not just a couple games here and there. Every game, I would start Kelsey.
All right, so let me tell you who I'm sitting. Who I'm sitting this week. I'm sitting Russell Wilson, and I'm gonna tell you
Mm.
why. Because going against that Miami, he going against Miami this week. That Miami D looking scary. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
in the past 2 weeks, in the past
Miami
between
in
week one and
general has
week
been
two,
looking scary.
Miami they're going against Miami. Miami has a total of 7 sacks on the season already, going into week three. And Russell Wilson's O line, that is not someone I trust. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because Russell Wilson last week was hit 14 times, and dropped for 7.
Mm.
So that shows that offensive line is not holding them against anybody. And
He
that
should be
and
used to that though. He did that when
yeah,
he was with Seattle. He ran for his life with Seattle.
and he did that. He did that against Mac Jones to New England.
Hmm.
New England, because New England came
Scares
through
me about next week.
almost 21 times on about 40 dropbacks.
Yeah, that scares me
That's
for
over
next week.
half his dropbacks. He was under pressure to throw that ball. Imagine what
That
Miami's
scares
going to do
me.
to him this Sunday.
But what about
Imagine what
Herbert?
Miami's going to do to him, huh?
But what about Herbert? Herbert had 230, and Eckler put up 117 or something like that rushing on the Dolphins defense in week one.
Yeah,
The
but Herbert
Dolphins
and the
But they
Chargers are
lost.
different than but Herbert and the Chargers are different than Denver and Wilson. Who's in Wilson's backfield?
Williams, He has Williams, and I
Williams
think they
compared to
have
Eckler.
P. Ryan. Yeah, of course. I mean, we all know Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler, we were talking about it too. Great running back when he is on the field. He's a dynamic player. He's a threat running the ball. He's a threat catching the ball, but he's got to be healthy.
By
We've
the
had
way,
that discussion.
when I did check the game out, I saw that Herbert was getting a lot of more points toward the end of the game. I mean, sorry, not a lot more points, but a lot more yardage at the end of the game when they already were behind quite a bit. So it
Yeah,
was almost like garbage time yardage.
maybe.
I mean, not all of it, but I'm saying it was a lot of garbage time yardage. I'm not sold on Herbert. He has not. I don't think he's done. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a fantastic quarterback.
It's
Um, but he did not have a great week last week. Those numbers are a little sketchy. Okay, Eckler on the other hand, he did play well. I'm not gonna say anything wrong with Eckler.
I mean,
That's what
they
I'm saying. I think Russell Wilson's a sit this week, man. So
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
agree.
start him at all. I would not start him in or not against that Miami defense.
I
I
agree.
don't even think I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'll throw a high take out there. I don't see Denver throwing up more than 7 this weekend.
Okay, that's a sit. But tell
ooh,
me, who would you start, Justin?
If I'm starting, I'm throwing. Give me 1 second 'cause I had it right here.
I'll come back to you. Hey, Corey,
Yeah, come
start
back
sit.
to me.
Start
all right.
sit. What do you got?
My first sit for this week coming up, Baker Mayfield. And why? He's going against Philly. And that
No
defense is
question. I have him as well.
crazy. They have the same
Definitely.
defense from last year covered in. They are going to turn up and they're
Yeah.
going to tear him up. Yes,
And it's Monday night.
yes, it is Monday night.
And it's Monday night.
Yeah,
And I think it's
I think it's here in
is it
Tampa.
It's
in
in
Philly?
Tampa. It's in Tampa. It's in Tampa. It's in Tampa.
Oh,
But
okay, all right.
they'll be able to play. Man,
Because that team, brotherly love,
that team is complete.
they don't believe in brotherly love in Philadelphia.
I was hoping they would have won the Super Bowl last year, but I mean, that offense is disgusting. Slim Reaper is going off right now, but that
Yeah,
defense is still scary. They can get at the quarterback, they can cause pressure, and they can cover. So,
yeah.
I mean, the
Mayfield definitely
connection,
has his hands cut out for him.
yeah, the connection between
I
Mayfield
agree.
and Mike
Who do
Evans
you
is
have
good.
for your start?
My first start is gonna be Josh Jacobs.
Really?
Last
Woo!
week he had
Really?
-2 yards.
That's crazy.
But check it out. Check it out. Wait. They are playing the Steelers, who is the worst defense right now in the NFL. He is
Mm-hmm.
going to go crazy. He has a point to prove. Week 1 was trash. Week 2 was abysmal. He is going to go out there and run that ball down that defense. They are not the Steelers of the old. That smash mouth football is no more there. It's no longer there with that system, with that team. He is gonna go crazy. He has to. He had last year. He was a league rusher. He is gonna go nuts, and he's a 1,000 yard guy every season.
What about you, Justin? What's your take on the start set?
Uh, my personal one, I
Mm-hmm.
start if I'm gonna say my personal one, I start Drake London this week. Reason why I
Hmm.
say Drake London is because going against that Detroit defense, yeah, B. John is a prom. We've seen the first 2 weeks he's a prom, and Detroit is
Mm-hmm.
coming in prepared for B. John. He's gonna come in. Don't let it stop. It's not gonna stop B. John. B. John is his own breed. He gonna get his yards. He gonna get his touches. He gonna get the touchdowns. But Drake London, listen, that man is a scary man. Yeah, he ain't been doing that in the last 2 years because who's been throwing the ball? But Desmond Ritter's been looking a lot more comfortable in this offense. He's getting a lot more
Who?
touches. He's throwing the ball more freely,
Ooh.
and
Who?
does
Hold on. Let me
yes.
hit you with the. Let me hit you with the. Huh?
I'm trying. Listen, Desmond Ritter is getting a lot
Yeah.
more comfortable in his
I'm like, huh?
offense, and I promise you, he's gonna break one. He's gonna break one nice and early in this game. I'm telling you, I won't be surprised he hits for a 70 yarder. I won't be surprised he hits for a 60 yarder.
Wow.
I'm
That's
telling you,
wishful thinking.
he
I
is
think he
he
might
is
break
def-
wind. That might be the only
I
thing he
think you
breaks.
go a
I'm telling
little,
you, mark my
little
words,
aggressive.
mark my words.
And I agree with you
CJ
with the
Gardner,
who.
listen,
Yeah.
CJ Gardner
When I
Johnson's
say
not
who
playing.
on Ritter is because that's exactly Ritter. Like there are better players unsigned who should be the quarterback of the Falcons. Okay.
Man,
Thing
I got
is,
faith in
here we
Desmond
go.
Ritter, man.
Detroit, I think, is a solid team. They're a solid team that did not have a great record last year, but they were scary. Every game, they scared everybody that they played. Okay. This week, okay, they coming into this game, they're the favorite by 3.5. Oh yeah, they're taking that game. Detroit's taking that game. Okay.
Detroit's
Other
good.
than Bijan, that's the only one I see having any real game on that team. Okay.
Their
You know,
offense has been explosive this year
yeah,
so
their
far.
offense has just been nasty. But even with that being said, I think this will be more of a lower scoring game. I think it'll be running.
Yeah,
There'll be
this
some
is a ground
passing.
pound game. This is
Yeah, it's
definitely
a
a ground
ground
pound
pound
game.
game, but I think Detroit pulls this one out without question.
And the
Without question, they
Bengals
pull
look
this one out.
nice too.
I don't know, man. I kind of like Atlanta in this matchup. I like Atlanta, and the reason why I say that, if Atlanta controls the clock and they run that ball down, they throw. Remember, a three-headed monster between the three of them. You got Tyler Algier, B. John Robinson, and Desmond Ritter himself. Desmond Ritter ran for over 60 yards last game.
Tyler
B.
Algier
John
is
ran. For,
not good.
Tyler Algier had 60 yards as a backup.
He's not
60 yards
the
of backup.
one.
B. Jones ran for 120.
He is not the one.
That is a running team, man. I'm trying to tell
Yeah,
y'all.
but you said
That is a
earlier
running
they have
team.
to control the clock. They're a running young team. They're
Yeah.
not thinking about the clock. They're not going to manage that clock. That Lions
Um,
team last year playing in the NFC North, where you had Fields going crazy, the Vikings going crazy, and Aaron Rodgers still trying to go crazy with some scrub bums at that point. Yeah, Detroit, they get
listen, man.
pushed to the back.
Like I said, we're gonna come back to this next
What
week.
happened in the first game of the season? Who did Detroit play? Please tell me who Detroit played the first game of
Play
the season.
KC. Play
And
KC.
who won?
Huh?
Who won?
The Detroit won, but who did KC
All
have?
right.
Kelsey ain't
They're
play.
gonna be
Mahomes
they're
played by
gonna be
himself.
they're gonna
Mahomes played by himself. He was playing out there playing touch football. He was out there playing schoolyard. He had like 500 yards, 300 rushing yards, doing everything by himself. What you want him to do?
All
And they
right, let's
barely
move
won the
in.
game.
Let's move in. Okay, we got the sit starts going.
Oh, I had more sit starts.
Oh, you have a couple more?
Oh yeah. I got
All right, give
another
me
sit start.
another pair. Give me another pair.
So another start is somebody, I'll be honest, I wasn't high on when they drafted him, but this season he's turned it up. And this one's from Marcellus, and that'll be Travis Etienne on that Jacksonville Jaguars offense. Trevor Lawrence is looking good. He's been performing well. He's getting a lot of touches. He's healthy. Watch. They're gonna break out. And they're playing the Texans. They're going
Yeah,
against the
I think
Texans.
anybody playing it. You know, a couple years ago, I remember I didn't draft a defense, right, on my fantasy league. And at that point, I was picking up one defense every week, right, off the waiver wires. Right.
Anybody played
And
Texans
my
on?
strategy was to pick up whoever was playing the Jets because that's how bad they were a couple years ago. Right. And that's how I feel about the Texans right now. Like whoever's playing the Texans, just pick them up. Okay. Run them against them. Actually, whoever's playing the Giants right now, pick them up. Run them.
And my sit is going to be C.J. Stroud. He's going against that Jacksonville Jaguars defense.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
they played
That's a
against the
young,
Colts.
fast. That's a young, fast team.
The Colts got 21 on them, and that was about it. And that 21 was a struggle. And then to hold KC, like I said earlier, to 17, to only 17. C.J. Stroud's going to get some defensive coverages that he's not going to know what to do, and they're going to be on him. They are going to be on him, and we're going to see if he's going to be a diamond. You know, he's going to be under pressure. Hopefully, he doesn't fold, but good luck.
All right, so let me give you my sit starts because I got most of them I had with you guys. I agree, but I got a couple. Okay, to start, and I can't believe no one's really talking about this guy, but he's having a phenomenal year. Kirk Cousins. Okay, if you have him on your team and you're not sure what to do with Kirk Cousins, you need to start him. Okay, he's going against the Chargers. Okay, Chargers do not have a defense. Cousins is going to throw for 350 yards, maybe 400 yards. Okay, this is great because I believe that both teams are 0-2.
Yeah, you're gonna get a win in this
Okay,
game.
so I think he's going to get his win. All right, but he's going to throw. He's going to throw that ball. Kirk Cousins is definitely for real.
Yeah,
Okay.
they only have like 90 something
Second start.
yards.
Okay, if you have him on your team and maybe you're not starting him or not, whatever. Pacheco. Okay, if you have Pacheco, you need to start him. Last week he had 12 carries for 70 yards. Right. Um, and that was against the Jags. So okay, so this week you need to be starting him. Okay. Um, now let's talk about a couple sits. Hard sits. Hard sits. You hear me? There's like throw them off your team if you have them, okay? Dalvin Cook, if you've got this guy in your team right now, okay? If you drafted him because you thought he was going to do something, Brees Hall has definitely shown that he is the man on that Jet team. Cook is going to get limited amount of touches, okay? Especially now that Rodgers has gone down. Okay, Cook probably should have stayed. Well, I mean, he didn't have a choice, but um, this is not a good fit for him. He's the second string guy. He's not a second string type running back. Um, he's not catching out of the backfield. He doesn't have Rodgers throwing to him. He's having a lot of problems right now. Avoid the trouble. Don't start him. Sit him on your bench. Maybe later in the season it might be the right move. Um, if you can trade him, trade him. Okay. I was with you with the Mayfield. I was with you with a lot of guys. Another one, Michael Thomas. Okay. That matchup with Green Bay, that is a bad matchup. Okay. That is a really bad matchup for him. He is not even the primary wide receiver on that team. So if you have another option, use it. If you have no
Definitely
other
good.
choice and you have to, fine. It is what it is. I think he is going to be good for maybe 6 or 7 points if that's all you got. But if you have a different option, use it. Please
That
use it.
Green Bay secondary is no joke.
Yeah,
No
Green Bay
joke.
is
They were built to
their
do what they
offense is
do.
what's limiting them right now. Their defense is very good. Okay. So, gentlemen, let's talk about the odds. Okay. You got $20 in your pocket. Okay. $20 in your pocket. We need to pick something. Um who are you betting on based off the odds this week? What team would be your pick? Let me hear from you, Justin. Give me your pick.
Hey, my lock for the week, I'm taking that Minnesota over Chargers all day. Minnesota is the favorite in that matchup, and I believe they saying that they're going to go for about 54, and I agree. I think it's going to be a
Mm,
shootout between both of them. I think I'm taking the over,
I've got the
taking the
I
same
over
agree
pick
with
as
because
you on
you.
that.
Yeah,
I got the
I
because
over
agree
and I
with
because
got
you.
Kirk
Minnesota.
because Minnesota. Listen, between Justin Jefferson, Addison, T.J. Hawkinson, and Kirk
Mm,
Cousins, the play he's
mm.
playing,
Say
that
it.
is a dangerous offense. I'm not even about to lie. That is a dangerous offense, especially. Yeah, let me get that right. Darwin James on the Chargers defense cannot do it alone. Khalil Mack's on that, Joey Bosa, but they listen. The way if you just double cover it, you just double team Joey Bosa off that O line, and you stay away from Khalil Mack and Darwin James, someone's gonna get open. And the way Kirk
Khalil
Cousins is
Mack's
slinging that
Correct.
not
ball
the
right now,
same. Khalil Mack's not the same. He's not the Khalil Mack from the Raiders or when he
yeah,
first got to the Bears. He is not the same. He's aged and he hasn't aged gracefully in the sport. I hate to say it because I loved it. I love seeing him as the defensive player of the year, but he is not the same. And that Chargers defense on paper looks like they should be stopping
they look great on
everybody.
paper. Watch them
Everybody.
play.
That secondary is disgusting. I wouldn't want to go up against that secondary if I was a receiver. I'd take an injury. Guy, coach, I think I tore my ACL, done for the game. I'll be back next week. But the way they're performing, it's either there's no communication, there's no trust, or that defensive coordinator is not doing his job correctly. They need to figure it out and figure it out fast because having an I agree with you. Minnesota's going to win the game. It's going to be a shootout. It's going to be by
It's gonna
three
be a
points.
shootout.
It's
All
going to
right,
be.
Corey, let me see your $20. Where's your $20 going?
Is there a question? Is that
No,
okay?
I already know. I don't even have to ask you. I know. As I pour my next
It's right
drink, I
here.
already know where
We're
you're
playing the
going.
Colts. No Anthony Richardson. I think, yeah, the rookie. He's concussion protocol. He's gone. Gardner Minshew is not the one, and it is going to be an assault.
He might be.
No, he is not. It'll be an assault. You know
He
what?
might be.
We're gonna have the under because I don't think Baltimore's gonna blow them out like they're going to. I think there's gonna be a little bit of struggle because I do think that Michael Pittman Jr. has looked very, very good this season so far. Every fantasy game, I think he's put up 20 points or close to 20 points a game. Um, you know,
You got no Odell this week, so
yeah, we don't have no Odell, but
You know what's funny is I have it actually listed exactly like you, Corey. I picked Baltimore with the under. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game, but Baltimore's going to smash
yeah,
it.
that's where I'm going. No Odell is fine. You guys say
yeah, Zay
I
Flowers.
think you're better
That's
without
another
Odell,
monster.
but that's a whole
That's
different
that's
discussion.
Zay Flowers is a monster, man.
All right, and as far as mine, I think it's just obvious with this one. It's going to be a smash. It's going to be a blowout game. It's not going to be. It's not going to be pretty to watch. But KC is going to destroy the Bears. It's going to be just horrific. It's going to be
It's
a
gonna be
murder
bad.
scene.
where are
Okay,
they
we might as well
playing?
get CSI out there now, just in case it rains, so we don't lose any evidence. Because that 12 and a half points, I don't think that's enough. I don't think it's enough points. Okay. Like I said, I think that Pacheco's going to have 100 and something yards on him. I think that Kelsey's going to have 3 touchdowns. Okay, he's a start. Um, uh, Mayfield,
Mayfield.
forget Mayfield. I'm sorry. Mahomes is going to go wild in this game. He's got the Bears defense. He's going to be drooling as he goes to the stadium. Um,
Oh, and they're
so
playing
that's where
in
I would
Kansas
throw my
City.
money on that
They're
game for
playing in
sure.
Kansas City, so they're going to want to
Yeah.
perform in front of the fans. Yeah.
Yes, they're going to want to perform. This is going to be a murder
And
scene. It's going to
Mahomes
be
does not
bad.
like the Bears. Remember, they passed up on him.
Yeah, this is going to be real bad. He's going to murder them. And that 12 and a half, I don't think is enough. I don't think it's enough. I think that they probably could have doubled it, and I probably still would have bet on KC. Um, and for that matter, with that, I took the over because I don't think that 48 points is not
It's not enough.
it's not enough.
So
It's not
you
enough.
think Kansas City's going to score like 48, and then like
Yeah, I
the
think
Bears
Kansas
might get a
City's
field goal
by
or two
themselves
here
might
and
be
there?
48. It might be a college game here.
Yeah.
You know.
It's gonna look like one the way they playing.
All right, Prize Picks. Prize Picks pick your parlay, your two-player parlay. So those who don't know, Prize Picks is an app allows you to make bets on player stats. They have sometimes obscure stats. They have the typical receptions, yards, touchdowns, but sometimes they'll throw they'll throw an obscure one on you. Um, so it's good if you're a degenerate gambler like I am. Okay, so your two-team parlay would pay as a 3 multiplier, Justin. Am I
A
correct on
two
that?
team parlay pays three times. Three
Yep,
times
three
whatever you put in.
times multiplier. So if you bet 20, you get 60. All right. So, gentlemen, well, I asked you all to go through their options and give me your two-player parlay and what they were. Justin, talk to me. What do you got?
All right, for my first one, it's no surprise when I say this. I'm taking Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown. Reason why I'm saying that is because going up against Denver is going to be Sertan versus Hill, and I know Tyreek Hill. He gonna want to make an impact. After last week, he only had 40 yards against that New England defense. He's gonna come in here and after week one, having 215, going to 40 yards, he's gonna want to come in here and get 150, go almost 200 on Sertan. And he's not always gonna line up on Sertan. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna line up in the slot. He's gonna beat the linebacker upfield. He's gonna get open. And eventually, when he gets open, he breaks it. He's gonna get an anytime touchdown, whether it's a 5 yard dig route or if it's a post route for 80 yards, he's gonna get it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
Who's your
first. That's
second
my
one?
first.
But
My
is
second.
Waddle playing? That's another question you
Don't
gotta ask
matter.
yourself.
Don't
Yeah,
matter.
you gotta
I
ask.
kind
Don't
of agree
matter.
with them. It doesn't matter. It's an
Don't
anytime
matter. Waddle
touchdown.
playing, man. Anytime
What's your second
touchdown.
one?
My
What's your
second one's gonna
second
be
part of the parlay?
is gonna be Brees Hall more than 56 combined yards
Mm,
rushing and receiving.
mm.
I think Brees Hall is gonna break one. Like I said before, He gonna break one through that New England
Against New
defense.
England?
He's gonna get through that secondary. He's gonna break one. If it's not gonna be 30 yard there, and all the passes he's gonna catch out the backfield, I see him breaking it. 60 yard. I'm taking the over on both of them. I'm taking the over on 56 yards combined yards for Brees Hall, and I'm taking an anytime touchdown for
I thought I was
Tyreek Hill.
I thought I was a gambler, sir. I think you are gambling more than I am.
Trust me, man.
Corey, what do you got?
Like I said, Josh Jacobs going
Mm.
against that Steelers defense. Look, last week, Chubb had what, 12 attempts, 64 yards. Then, what's the backup? He came in. He had 16 attempts, 106. So I have Josh Jacobs going for 71 and a half going against that Steelers
Mm.
defense. He is going to go
Okay.
nuts. He needs to prove a point that he is still a damn force in this league. And he's
All
going to
right,
prove
talk
it
to me. What
against
is your
the
number
Steelers.
two?
My number two is
What's
going
that
to be
second part of that parlay?
Zay Flowers getting at least 11.5 points in fantasy. No Odell. He looked good last week. He had that phenomenal catch. I think they're going to continue to feed the well because last week Lamar distributed that ball very, very well across the board. And I think they're going to target Zay a little bit more to see what this young kid can do. This is our new
Wow, I think the
speedster.
hat might be a little bit too tight on you,
Yeah, I'm
but
about to say that's a little biased in my opinion, but you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
it's a
It's a
little
little
bit biased.
biased.
I mean, maybe I'm I thought I was the gambler, but you guys are definitely the gambler. So check it out.
Trust me.
Maybe it's the way I was raised. I always believed in insurance. I've always believed in taking the the path that is well lit when I go home late at night. Okay, I don't ride roller coasters. So when I I gamble on sure things. Okay, this one was an easy one when I picked this two player parlay. Travis Kelsey, point 0.5 on a touchdown. That means he needs to score one touchdown.
Anytime
One
touchdown.
touchdown. One. A healthy Kelsey. Yeah, that one, that's almost a guarantee to me. Okay. And so that's like beside the point. Plus, they're playing the Bears. The Bears. The Bears. Right? The Bears.
The
Okay.
Bears.
And my second part of that, you ready? Ready? You ready for this? Is the guy who is the real stud of his team anyway, Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett
Mm.
receptions, 4.5. 4.5. I had to check to see if that was just the first quarter only. They're talking about for the game. For the game? Okay. Oh no, he's gonna get way more than that. So that's both overs, buddy. Okay. Two overs on Tyler Lockett and Travis Kelsey playing it safe. Okay. Throw $100 on it, walk away with 300, go buy your wife something, take her out to eat. Okay, because that is definitely a winning parlay.
I might have to do that. I
You
like
know,
that
that that is
parlay. That
that
sounds
is a
pretty good.
nice parlay right there. Okay.
Yeah.
That's my choice on that one. All right, gentlemen. So uh last but not least, game of the week. The game you do not miss. I don't give a shit.
We already spoke about it.
Okay, game of the
Minnesota,
week. If somebody calls you up
It's
and
gonna be that
says, "Hey,
Minnesota.
yeah, that Minnesota game. That's game of the week. Minnesota, the
It's that
Chargers.
Minnesota game, man. That's the game of the week right there.
It's not about the defenses. Just stay on the sideline. Don't even get
Yeah,
involved.
defense. It ain't about defense that game. It's about who can throw the ball farther. That's what it's gonna
Yeah,
be. Who arm gonna get tired first? Is
yeah,
what it's gonna
yeah,
be.
yeah, yeah,
I'm trying to
really?
tell you.
yeah.
That's
Okay,
gonna be the
well,
game of the
That's
week
game of
right
the
there.
week. Game of the week.
game of the week."
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna pick it over the Dallas game.
Yeah. Listen, Arizona look good against the Giants, but I look good against the Giants. I'm just saying.
This is true. This is true.
I
This
look
is
good against the
true.
Giants. I'm just saying.
This is true. I
Yeah.
think the Minnesota game is going to be fantastic. What time is that game? That's a 1 o'clock game.
It's a 1 o'clock
That's
game,
going to
right
be
now.
terrible because I can't watch that game. Not when Miami's playing the Broncos. I'm sorry. I have to watch that game. The Miami's been on fire.
Yeah,
Miami
that's
has
another one.
been on fire. Okay,
That's
their
what you're picking
defense
as
is
game of the week.
wonderful. I hate to say it, I have a very good friend of mine named Fred that he is a huge Dolphin fan, and I like to talk smack with him. But his team is tremendous this year. They're not my favorite to win the Super Bowl by any chance, but still, I think they're a dynamite team,
They are the
and this
number
is going to
one
be a great
offense
game.
right now. It's only been
That
They
is
got
a key
they have a
matchup.
top
That
offense. Broncos because Russell definitely has magic. He definitely has magic. Okay, and I think he's an aging quarterback, so a lot of that magic is gone. But he's gonna try everything he can. He's gonna try. He's
I,
gonna
w-
give it a shot.
I
agree.
will say this: he has turned it around from last season. Last season, he
Yeah.
hasn't had a game like he did last week, or or even in week one. He has turned it around. You know, um, but to be going against that hungry defense, and remember, they still don't have Ramsey
Mm.
on that defense. He's out till what, November, December. So they're only going to get more disgusting by then. But I do think Russell Wilson's going to try. He has turned it
That is a
around.
Yeah.
key match.
They
There's a
need a
key
run
matchup in
game.
that game. It's a key matchup in that game you guys got to watch, and that's Hill versus Sertan. I said it earlier,
Yeah.
and Sertan is going to want to signify that he is the best corner in the league.
PS2 is
Above
good.
Sauce,
But you know
and
when he's
he
gonna
is.
you know when he's gonna make that move? When he turns around and sees Hill's back of his jersey and he's about 30
Yeah,
yards
when he
in
scores
front of
my
him.
anytime touchdown, that's what I want. When he scores my
Okay.
anytime touchdown,
When he's about
that's
30
going to be the
yards
key to
in front of
matchup.
him and Hill has his arm up in the air with something coming over the shoulder. Okay. Because, Tua may be a crypt member and everything,
Wow.
but
We really did
the
that. We
guy's got a
really
cannon
did that.
and he's got a
A
he's got
cannon.
Waddle and he's got Hill.
He
So
doesn't have a cannon. Tua is a beneficiary to having two of the fastest receivers in the two fastest receivers in the
well, you
NFL
still
right
got to
now.
get it down the field to them. So even if you're just putting it up
I
and
can
saying
do.
go get it, you
I
got to
can throw
throw it up
60
there.
yards. All I got to do is throw it up. They're gonna get it. Tua
You couldn't
throws
you
in
couldn't throw
within the
60 yards
numbers.
if
I
if I
throw
let you in my
60
truck and
yards.
drove you the 50
I
yards over
can
there.
throw
Bruh,
60. Tua is
you throw
he.
60 10
This
years
is the
ago.
first time. This is the first time I've seen a quarterback that the majority of his catches are within the numbers. Like meaning he doesn't like the post, he doesn't like the out routes. He likes to throw the seam. And why? Because he has Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle who just go right down the seam and that's it.
Don't hate him because he has weapons.
Yeah,
I'm not hating
word.
him because he
Don't
has
don't
weapons.
hate him
Don't
because
hate him
he,
because
he
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 has
found a way to
weapons.
win. He
He's
found a way to win.
you can't overthrow these guys. He underthrows the more
That's
than he
what I'm saying.
That's
overthrows.
the
You
point.
still got to throw the ball
Listen,
He
downfield.
they down there
underthrows. He
somewhere.
does not have a cannon.
they
Even if I
listen. They
just
down.
walk it
They
up
down
and
there
say go
somewhere.
get it, I got to throw it over the defense.
I'm trying to
Yes.
tell you.
All you do is
They
you
down there
isolate
somewhere. He gonna
windows.
get it.
That's all we're doing. Man,
Listen. You remember that meme with Eli Manning to Odell Beckham? He down there somewhere.
no,
He
Hey,
down there somewhere.
That's the
He gonna
Joe.
go get
That's the
it.
Joe Burrow,
He
Jamar
gonna go
Chase.
get it.
That's the Joe
that's when
Burrow,
Odell was
Jamar Chase.
serious. That's when
Oh,
Odell
Yeah, that's
was
what Odell
so
was
amazing.
one handing people
Yeah,
regularly.
Odell was
that's the
Regularly.
Joe
amazing back
Burrow,
then.
Jamar
I'm
Chase
talking about that
swing.
was fur. Okay, like boa wearing Odell. Odell walk in here like he's Sabretooth from Marble,
Yeah, man.
and everybody was still like, I don't
He
care what
down
he
there
wears.
somewhere. They
He
gonna go get
catches
it.
What do
everything.
you wear? It's Odell. Well, I mean, yeah, I see that. It's the same. Like I said, it's the same thing with Burrow and Chase, where it was just like epic. Chase is down there
Oh my
somewhere,
God!
just
Don't even talk
throwing up.
about
They
Burrow,
need to
man.
figure
No,
it
don't.
out.
Please don't talk
Well,
about
I mean,
Burrow,
they had a
please.
slow start last season. The same thing last season. He is
You
hurt.
Well,
notice
I,
They
you
just
noticed
signed
how
a
none of us
quarterback.
mentioned Burrow on sit start because I think everybody is scared. I don't think anybody knows what he is anymore
well,
because we don't know whether to start him. We don't whether to sit him. We want to start him because he's too good of a quarterback.
I
And
would love
he's
to
got a
start
lot
him.
of weapons, but in 2 games he hasn't even used them.
Yeah, but he hit T. Higgins last game. He had 27. He had 41 attempts. 27 were completed. He threw for 220, 222. My bad. Two TDs. He had one interception. T. Higgins caught 8 catches, 89 yards with 2 TDs. I mean, it wasn't a bad showing. He was going against the Ravens, so it, it, they had 60 total yards of rushing, so that doesn't help when you have to throw the ball 41 times in the game. But
I want him to throw the ball 41 times because I'm the fantasy owner. I own Joe Burrow. I own Jamar Chase. I own both of them.
yeah,
And
but if you want to
I'm
win,
trying
you
to tell
don't want to
you,
throw the ball 41
it's
times.
tough. Listen, I got Jamar Chase starting this week. in case he go crazy. But Joe Burrow's sitting on my bench, man. I'm just being honest with you.
I still
He's
haven't
sitting there
seen
and he
it.
gonna stay there until he show me sign. And he going against LA this week. He going against
Nice.
LA. So if this is the week to go crazy, is this week.
They need
This is the week to go crazy.
Gentlemen, I got one more start for you, by the way, and that will be Dak Prescott. Okay, Dak has got
Arizona.
he's got a very good matchup with Arizona. I honestly believe that he's going to have a great game, bounce back game. And when I say bounce back, he has not had a bad game yet, but I think he will have a great game. I think he's going to have one of those games because quietly kept, the Cowboys are one of the 5 teams to watch this year. Okay, we all know about
Agreed.
San Fran. We all know about the Eagles. We all know about KC. Okay, but Miami and the Cowboys are definitely right there as the teams that are showing they're dangerous. Okay, I think CD Lamb is coming to his own, and Prescott is going to be almost like on that same tip with Odell, where just chucking the ball up and go get it. That's how CD Lamb is doing right now, chucking the ball up and saying go get it.
I mean, Prescott, he hasn't really faced any really good teams yet, kind of, sort of. So you're seeing what he can do. I mean,
It's not his fault that the entire
I'm not.
NFC East is terrible.
NFC East is terrible.
NFC East is awful.
Philly.
Oh well,
Listen, man.
You're
Quietly
right. You're
kept.
right.
The
I
Eagles
absolutely
is
forgot
there.
about Philly because Philly's
Eagles is
elite. I
there.
don't even count them. I don't even count them
It's
there.
not-
Washington look decent. You know what I'm saying?
Washington's awful.
Washington look a little decent. They 2-0.
They're awful.
They
It's
2-0.
not. It's not that. It's for me with Dak Prescott. You can have all the numbers. You can have all. I mean, Dan Marino numbers. Tony
Numbers.
Romo had numbers.
And you know how I feel about Dan Marino, Corey.
Yeah.
I've told you many times. I blame him for everything.
They had numbers, but if you're not winning a chip, and it's not like Dak hasn't had pieces to the puzzle. He's had pieces this whole time. He's had defensive pieces and offensive pieces.
Exactly.
And
Dak is
you're
still
not
Dak.
going deep into the playoffs. There is a problem. And what's the issue? Who is the issue?
Listen, yeah, and I agree with that because going back, I know we run a little off topic with everything, but Dak Prescott, look at Dak Prescott's QB room. There is no room for error. And when I say that, because when Cooper Rush came in last year and took over for him, he went 5, almost 6-0.
Mm-hmm.
Better than Dak. He put Dak on nose, and they brought up the question, who do you start when Dak comes back? If you are questioning who's your starting quarterback, that is not a good sign, my boy. I'm just being honest.
You know what's
And
funny
now
is that we
you
live
add,
in the era of right now.
yeah,
And I think I showed this to Corey one day. We were talking about it. There is a stat. I can bring it up next week if you'd like, because I don't have it ready right now. Dak's numbers in his career as of yet, right now, if you compared them, they are better right now, his career numbers, than Brady, Montana. He has Elway. All of these superstar, Super Bowl winning, that have rings. His
Not
numbers are
one.
better than all of them for his career numbers. But the one thing that Dak doesn't have yet is that ring. He does not have a Super Bowl. But I think that might change soon if things go certain ways. He still would have to get by the Eagles, and that's going to be a hard thing because the Eagles might
you got to
be the
get
best
past the
team in
49ers to
the
get
NFL.
to the bowl. You got to get past the 49ers just to get in the bowl, man. So
Mm-hmm.
that's another one. And
49ers,
I think they're years now.
So
49ers and the Eagles, that might be the NFC Championship right there.
Well, it was
Sure.
last year. It's a rematch, and this time
It
their quarterback
might
gonna work.
absolutely be that.
Their quarterback gonna play this time.
Oh,
You know
perfect.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Philly wasn't supposed to go last year, and I say it then, and I'm gonna say it now. Philly was not supposed to win last year. They was not supposed to go to the Super Bowl. It was supposed to be a 49 Super Bowl. 49's taking the chip over KC.
Yeah.
But
rematch Super Bowl.
it's definitely gonna be a 49ers Super Bowl this year. I promise, and I'll take that now. Mark me down. Hot take. What time is it? It's 4:45
Oh,
p.m.
you're
Let them
recorded
know.
down, sir. Don't worry.
Yeah,
You're
let
being
them
recorded.
know. I said it right here, right now. San Fran taking it all, and I'm saying that now. If Purdy continues to be healthy and continues to play through the year, I promise. Purdy is 8-0 during the regular season. He has not lost a regular season game since he took over that starting role.
I
He
got you.
is definitely going to take over this whole thing, and he will win the whole thing if he can as a second year player.
I am high on Purdy.
On that note, gentlemen, we're going to call this a week. All right. It was wonderful. I want to thank my guest, Mr. Corey Thompson. You can see him in your DMs, I'm sure, if you check him. Okay. He's under the name Baltimore or Die.
Also, Hard University.
Yep. I would like to thank my son, Justin Rodriguez, for being here. Okay. You can catch him under Delusional. Thank God he looks like his mom. All right. Gentlemen, thank you so much. All right. Until next week, we'll be doing this again.
Mm-hmm.